My name is Karl Frey. I am currently an exhibiting artist at the Brookline Art Center near Boston. I grew up in California, was born in Germany. My first interaction with the arts was probably, that I remember, is probably in the second grade. About sixth grade, I started actually taking the study of art more seriously. My parents would often ask me to go outside and draw flowers as kind of a punishment for watching too much TV or not being, engaging with the family enough. It wasn't until I was about 12 or 14 that I started entering competitions. Again, small town, we'd have a yearly show in an art museum in Gilroy, sponsored by one of my art teachers, a watercolor teacher. That was wonderful, Diane Wallace in California, who still teaches private watercolor lessons. And they would usually be, at the beginning, pictures of animals, pictures of nature. My father had me paint 10 paintings of Yosemite for $10 a piece, just to feel like I was proactive and maybe getting a sense of how I can make money at art in the future. Very supportive family in the arts, though maybe a little bit opportunistic. And through those paintings and through entering those museums and those competitions, I started to develop an identity. As for my education, the first school I started at after high school was Cal Poly San Luis Obispo in California, right in the middle of the coast. Beautiful area. I'm amazed I got any studying done. There are nature preserves on both sides. But it was a great graphic design program, and lucky for me, being that it was a public school, it was fairly cheap. What I learned there was really the different aspects of looking at something, the perceptual theory that goes into keeping your interest in looking at a visual, whether it's lettering or whether it's an advertisement. And it took a lot of the mystery out of it for me, which might sound like a bad thing, but it made it possible for me to control these things about art that I was interested in. And because of that, I grew less interested in just doing straightforward landscapes, flowers, animals, and started doing things like movie posters. I did a self-portrait of myself, well, the only type of self-portrait I know of, and it was drawn on a copy of my drawing table, which had a bunch of doodles and phone numbers and things on it. And I thought that was starting to break away from just this direct representation and starting to get an idea of something that shows more than just what's being represented. Graphic design led me, and that schooling led me to see the whole world of illustration. And illustration is this world of making art for reproduction, which is actually where those stickers I was interested in, where those came from, where those cartoon characters that I always tried to copy came from. This idea of mass media and creating visuals for a large audience. And in order to pursue illustration, I was very lucky, and I was able to go to the Art Center College of Design in Pasadena, very good illustration school, and learned basically all of the techniques I still use today in oil painting, acrylic, watercolor, and got my first jobs as a professional artist, as a professional commercial artist for newspapers down in California, the Glendale News Press, the Pasadena Weekly, and am still doing cartoons for them today. I do editorial cartoons, black and white cartoons, and something I still really enjoy doing. After illustration school, a bunch of my friends became disillusioned in only doing illustration for a living and wanted to show more of our personal ideas and not just a client's ideas. So we organized some other work that I am actively pursuing now for the show at Harvard and for other shows in the future are these Lego landscapes, which can be broken up and rearranged any way the viewer sees fit. So what I do is I make a wall of Lego blocks like you're very familiar with, and paint an image on there, usually a Hudson River School era landscape, something that's very familiar. I require that, for myself, I require that they have mountains, water, trees, all the elements you expect from a landscape, maybe a little cottage thrown in. And then I have friends or I myself break the Legos apart and rearrange the landscape into something that's more personalized. So I'll have several of these, and it's work that's very, very surprising, though difficult to document because it has several different life lifetimes in that I can have one image that I like, but then it has to be destroyed for a new image. Other work that I'm very engaged in, takes a lot of my time, are shaped canvases, which you can think of the dog toy paintings, the sticker paintings, as being sketches for. So if you take that shape, make it larger, say 20 inches or so, and stretch it with canvas and do a traditional painting on that shape as opposed to on a rectangle, you have an object that's kind of between sculpture and painting and kind of confuses you. It can be a minimalist object, it can be an abstract object, it can be, you know, a pure representation. And that's something, those are objects I think are very interesting, and I plan to do more with them, especially playing with scale and playing with how the audience can interact with those objects. Another interest of mine has been portraiture. I've done several different pieces that deal with fragmenting the idea of portraiture and making it more of an experience where the viewer gets to create their own portrait. I've never quite understood the appeal of looking at a portrait of someone I don't know. So this becomes, I try to play with exercises where you build your own person. And I've done that sculpturally and with painting. And that's a difficult idea that's always lingering on. Those are the pieces I'm working on now, and they prove very rewarding for me. So what is next for me as an artist is that in the end of August of 2005, I'll be moving to Texas, working on a residency there, creating some of my Lego landscapes, some of my shaped canvases where I need a lot of space to create them. The sticker show that is currently on at the Brookline Arts Center ends on June 3rd, and I will probably have a bundle of stickers planned to do in the next few months as well. The show at Harvard will actually be at the 3 Columns Gallery at Harvard in October. We haven't set an opening date yet, but I believe the show will be 6 weeks long. And that will be of landscapes, Lego landscapes, some objects, some of which I haven't even designed yet. So that will be a lot of fun. Now, if you're interested in seeing my work, a place I've tried to make very accessible to everyone is my new website. I'm a novice to web design, but it is at www.karlfrey.net. So I hope you check that out. And if you find anything interesting, please feel free to contact me through that website. The first group was of dog toys. These are what I started with. And they became kind of these modernist tropes of I don't want to use modernist tropes, sorry. What's a good... I'm just going to... Coming off of graduate school, I try not to use like aesthetics and functionality and horizontality and things like that anymore. So. Animals, and started doing things like movie posters. I did a self-portrait of myself. Well, the only type of self-portrait I know of, and it's on. Those are the pieces I'm working on now, and they prove very rewarding for me.
That's terrible. No, that's good. That's okay. I mean,
yeah.